Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we talk about all things crypto market. That includes majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Memecoins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to talk about the Memecoin Giga Pump on the back of yesterday's central exchange listings. Robinhood, Coinbase getting in on the Memecoin fund. Trenches were absolutely electric all night. We were cooking in the BODOGGOS Discord. We're going to do a little segment on our cooks of the week. We're going to talk about Bitcoin crossing 93K, setting another all-time high, day after day, new all-time high. Nobody cares, though. It's all about meme coins. Bitcoin's dead. It's in the past. And we're going to talk about the drama surrounding Polymarket. Their CEO's house gets raided by the FBI. We're going to dive in and look at this little story. Signal Easy. Clemente, how are we feeling today? Sig, how you doing?
Good. I am honestly, like, I had trouble going to sleep last night, Ray. I kept looking at the charts. I kept checking prices, which I know we shouldn't be doing, but I couldn't help it. There's been certain meme coins that have just been absolutely sending off the back of all this news now. And it really reminds me of like the 2021 euphoria. But it feels too early that I don't feel like we're in the euphoric season just yet. But I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. I'm not even in the trenches. I'm just playing the mid caps, and I am having so much fun right now trying to figure out like what to hit, not to overtrade. Yeah. And I'm very happy because Luce's still running.
Oh, you gotta love Luce. I'm the same way. I'm checking my portfolio over and over again. I'm in a little mix, which is kind of fun. So like I've been rotating profits to mid caps. I'm keeping a bag for the trenches. So I'm watching the portfolio of the mid caps go up while still having Sol to play with in the trenches, which is like the win-win scenario. Big shout out to the BODOGGOS Discord, absolutely crushing it. We've been making a ton of trench calls in there. Everyone's getting more and more active every day. Love to see it. It's been a ton of fun. Clemente, still at Easy's.
Let's go.
Feeling? How you guys feel?
Good, man. Been a good week. Easy is putting me through. This week was a little bit of a trench boot camp, I would say, for me. Easy was, kind of my sensei this week. I would say it was a little Karate Kid, and whatever that guy's name is. Action.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, so Easy was Mr. Miyagi. I was washing his car, doing his laundry, doing all kinds of things, and it was kind of educating me on the trench lifestyle. And I can firmly say after 5 days of being in the boot camp, I feel like a new man. I'm a changed man. I can spot.
What have you learned? Can you share with us what you've learned about trench warfare?
So we've been actually having some success in the trenches recently. It depends what game you're playing. Like just like how to play each kind of realm, like the pre-migration sub 20K stuff, what to look for in terms of volume, in terms of holders, what's bundled versus not bundled, the sniper. Like you basically have to build this muscle of being able to basically watching yourself get rugged over and over. You learn by just doing it what is good versus what's not. You have this kind of like radar that you can start picking up on with good plays. My biggest weakness recently has been I overtrade. Like I'm sitting there and instead, like usually there's like one good play it depends, but usually there's like one good play every 5 to 10 minutes. And a lot of the times, and like by good play, it's like a 10x. And basically what I do is like, you can find those, but then in that process of finding those, you can easily like overtrade and just lose 0.2 Sol, 0.3 Sol, 0.4 Sol. And like those will build up. And yeah, what I'm working towards now is like just try to find those, size into them more, and get in. Because I get in like right now. I get in early on a lot of these, like sub 20K, sub 30K. But I get in with like 0.2 or 0.3 Sol. Easy gets in at like 2x higher, but puts like 4 or 5 Sol in. So he's just printing off those. But then also you can play like the post-migration game. It's a little bit safer when you're buying something at like 200K and you take like a 2x to 4, 5, 600. But it's absolutely wild right now. The things that are pumping, the things that are just sending for no reason. The trenches are extremely hot, and what a time to be alive. It's electric right now.
Good. That sounds good. Honestly, Clemente, your intestines are made of something different. I would be puking on the because you're right. Those 0.2s, they add up over time, and I don't have the stomach to be able to just keep losing money and in like learning a lesson to go through the rugging system. But the reason why I like this time so much is because you can spend time in the trenches and make money, and you can also do the mid caps and make money, and then you can obviously play the whole, like, you know, if you really risk on rotating mid caps into the larger caps. So like there's an opportunity for everyone, and I don't think this market's going to be here. I don't know how long this market's going to be here, but I just think like every day you kind of going to have to take the opportunity and run with it. Like when you said there's an opportunity, when I thought you were going to say every 5 hours, you said every 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, that is wild.
I would say
absolutely wild.
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, every 5 to 10 minutes
Every 1
there's
to
like
3
a
minutes.
cook.
Right now it's so hot. If you're not staring at the new pairs every 30 seconds, you're missing out on generational wealth.
So what I will say, but before we wrap on this, the biggest thing I've learned is how important it is to trade with people and not trade by yourself. We've been trading a lot with the BODOGGOS Discord. Frankly, we need to do more in the VC, in that voice chat. But if you're trading by yourself, it's so much harder. You're trading at a big disadvantage. So if you do want to get in the trenches, find a community you can trade with and kind of float ideas with, get a second pair of eyes on it. Because if not, you're at a massive disadvantage. And it's way harder. It doesn't need to be the BODOGGOS Discord, for example. I know, Ray, we're going to talk about that later today, but find a group of people that you can trade with, a group of buddies, whatever it is, because that makes the learning experience a lot easier, and you're at less of a disadvantage.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get to the weather report in a minute. But first, we want to shout out our partner for today's show, one of our favorite partners. This is Tensor, the leading NFT marketplace on Solana for pro traders. They're not only an NFT marketplace anymore, they are working on Vector. Vector is a huge project they've been working on for I think 8 months now. They've been absolutely heads down grinding on Vector. We've got their video up on screen right now. You can see a little teaser, get some idea of what's going on there. We can't say too much. We've been testing this app out, and it is a ton of fun. To say we are giga excited is like an understatement. We saw Ilmoy post a little bit of alpha on this. We can tell you what he's told us essentially. What is Vector.fun? It's a new way to trade. It's internet finance in every pocket. It's how your normie friend gets into crypto, and it's the #1 app on the App Store in 2025. Super excited about Vector. Check them out at vector.fun on X. Set your notifications on. They filled up their waitlist in a hurry. We've been telling you to get on that waitlist. It filled up. Go to vector.fun on X, Vector DOTFUN, and you can set notifications on. Make sure you have them on because there are going to be other opportunities to get into this app early, and we might even have some for you ourselves. If you're a Tensorian holder, there is a big town hall tomorrow. So shout out to all Tensorian holders. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time inside their Discord, town hall with the founders, talking all about Vector. So really excited for Vector, excited to hear more, excited to share with you guys what we've been playing around with over the past month or so. Super psyched, awesome project, really excited, and can't wait to move forward. That being said, Signal, are you ready to kick it off?
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. There's been so much news in the last 24 hours. This is just like a teeny tiny cherry on the cake. So let's get into it. It is Thursday, 14th November. Looking at the crypto roundup, the majors, they chopped on the day. Bitcoin is slightly up, just under 91K. Ethereum dropped below 3,200, and Solana is ever at $215. The leading top 100 coin over last day was MOG. People were praying for this to go up, and it did. It is up 32% to a 900 million market cap. It is heading in the right direction. Over the past 24 hours, top 3 stories. Well, firstly, Coinbase sent shockwaves through the meme coin market and entered the top 10 apps on the iOS App Store. They listed Whiff and Pepe meme coins. They all giga sent on the day, and they ran to a 4 billion and 9 billion market cap, respectively. Next up, Bitcoin continues to climb as it broke 93K and set an all-time new high. They just keep coming. It's been one after the other almost every day, it feels like. BlackRock's IBIT ETF had another record volume day on the back of $5 billion worth of trading, as overall net flows for the Bitcoin's ETFs came in plus 555 million. And then lastly, the US government is not happy. This is the old US government. They're not happy with Polymarket as they sent the FBI to raid CEO Shane Copeland's home. They seized his cell phone and his other electronic devices as Polymarket faces a DOJ probe over the United States users. That is all for the weather report. I think it's enough. We'll get into it. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you. Excellent weather report as always, Signal. I thought this tweet was just absolutely perfect by CEO Shane Copeland of Polymarket coming after that news.
Who dis?
Yes, so good.
He's got main character vibes. He's got main character vibes. He's not there yet. He's not there.
Yeah,
He's got main character vibes. I like him. I think you're going to see more of him next year.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm really curious to see what happens with prediction markets now that the election's over. Like, they've lost a good amount of like their top, performing markets. So they need to do something to like maintain at this point. So interesting to see what's going to happen there. Fun little segment we're going to roll out here before we jump into the main meat and potatoes of the day, because we're going to talk about a bunch of these different calls today. We're going to do a little BODOGGOS Cookerino session here, where we're going to go over all of the winners from the BODOGGOS Discord over the last 24 hours. Some absolute gems here. First, we have UAP, unidentified anomalous something. I missed this one completely by Kix. Kix called this at 284K. That's up 1,200%.
Woo!
$3.7 million market cap. Huge Cookerino 13Xer by Kix. We've got Rye Guy on Jamcat, an absolute jam here, up 1,200%. Called it at 284K, up to 3.7 mil as well. Jam is jamming. We're talking about Fustige. Nifty Island Pro Fustige makes a big call here on the meme coin space. You held. He said if DEX gets fixed, it sends. Well, you know what happened? The DEX got fixed and it sent 1.9 mil to 23.8 mil, 1,100% Cookerino for Fustige. We have Ed4988 getting on the action, calling up Maya. Maya, what a call here, called at, I believe, 2.7 million, 650% gainer to 20.1 million right now. Absolute cooker by the Ed man. We got pump plays last night. We had a 40Xer in the Discord last night. Kix called this. This is pump plays Pokemon. Essentially, if you remember Twitch plays Pokemon, where the chat was moving the Pokemon around, they had a pump fun stream that was apparently reading the input and playing the game. We saw Kix call this at 22K pre-bonding. Many doggos got in. We saw this pump up all the way to 800K market cap before the dev, obviously, rug. Huge Cookerino there for anyone who got in and got out. And we had a little 2-for-1 here. We had Tofu unveiling it, and we had Easy jumping in with conviction. Petunia, 15Xer, 2.5 mil to 38.7 mil. Easy, what do you got to say about Petunia? Let's go.
Higher.
Absolute cookers in the BODOGGOS Discord. Absolute cookers in the meme coin space. We've been absolutely crushing it. If you want to get in, you just got to buy a BODOGGO. Come hang out with us. We're trading live. Like Clemente said, we're gonna jump more into the voice chat. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna be having some good times in here. And those plays are all 24 hours. Last 24 hours, all those winners. So we've been absolutely cooking in here. Love to see it. Like, super pumped. Awesome group of traders, and makes life easy. Like Clemente said, when you have a group of strong traders around you, when you can bounce ideas and see on surface other plays, it just makes you that much more well positioned in this market. Whew, I'm out of breath. Easy. Meme coin trenches. What's going on right now? What are the metas? What are you in?
You gotta ask Clemente. Dude's been on a heater, dude. Dude's been on an absolute heater.
Well, yesterday was right now. Basically, the thing to trade as of this morning, literally this morning, is there's a lot of Twitter. It's like a Twitter meta. So people taking things around the government efficiency thing and making money off of it. We were looking at this Doge, Easy, if you want to pull that up. Twitter made the account Doge, which is literally Department of Government Efficiency. Elon was tweeting about it, and someone took the This will show you how hot the trenches are. Someone took the logo, turned it into a shit coin. It's at 17 million now. This has been the biggest cook of this morning. Look at this. I mean, this is insane. This was last night.
It got sent to us here this morning, right around here.
And then we also have been, like, yesterday there was a bird that got killed on stream.
Oh, yep. His name was
video.
Arthur.
Arthur was a little like crane. Someone threw a rock at it.
A boulder. Not a rock, a boulder. Was this one?
Someone threw.
Yeah,
That one's it. Someone threw a rock at it, murked it. I got in at like 40K. This thing ran to 2 mil.
I think I lost
which
money
was
on
wild.
this. Yeah, I lost money on this one.
I've got a kind of sad story, but like, can we launch a meme coin here? So I was golfing in Florida on vacation with my family, and I teed off and I hit an absolute stinger towards the water, and there was a bunch of birds there. I hit a bird.
Did you kill it?
Yeah, it died, but I don't know its name.
We'll just name it. Dude, this bird wasn't walking around and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's Arthur the crane. Like, no, this dude rocked it with a boulder and the news picked it up and said Arthur the bird. Like, there wasn't much of a conversation beforehand about our boy Arthur. Like, yeah, do you have a picture, Ray? Did you take a picture?
I didn't take a picture of the dead bird, unfortunately. I should have been looking forward like 10 years later, knowing that I would be in crypto and meme coins and the dead animal meta would be running. But unfortunately, I didn't.
Yeah, how could
but
you
that was
miss
a very sad moment. Almost quit golf after that one.
Can I Clemente, I got a question for you, right? So Ray just read out like a whole bunch of names, random things like jam and some other stuff which I can't remember. When you're in the trenches, how do you figure out really quickly that, for example, jam is a thing and what it's connected to? I mean, because you're before graduation, right? So how are you figuring out really quickly like what these meme coins are about and whether it's worth jumping on the narrative?
So jam was one that was around. I don't know the
I'm just using jam as an example because, you know, it's such a random name and it could be affiliated to anything. But I'm just curious like what Clemente's methodology is for like figuring out what they're linked to.
There's basically two types of meme coins. One is like an organic one, which is just a meme coin with a good ticker, a good picture, a mascot, whatever it is. It has good socials, a dev behind it, an artist sometimes. That's one type, right? An example of that would be, I don't know, Epic Duck, right? Or whatever it is, Nub, Kobe, right? Like those are just like cute animals or whatever it is, and they have a corresponding ticker with it. The other one is news-based stuff, right? Like the Department of Government Efficiency, that's now 250 mil, or Peanut, or Loose. Those are ones that are like quickly on the spot. Those are basically the two types of meme coins to watch for. And then on that note, like no matter what it is you're looking at, the big thing to look for is depending on where you get in is volume, the number of holders, and whether and like how much of like what the distribution is, right? So you look at those three things, and depending on what range you're trading at, you look for different things, right? So for sub 10K or sub 20K market cap, you want to look for like solid volume. If you're catching this in the first 30 seconds, you want to see volume. You want to see like 40 to 50 holders, and then you want to see the dev not own more than like 4 or 5%, and then you basically want to see that it's not bundled. So basically when you look at the holders on BullX, you want to see, okay, is there a sniper logo? Is there a lot of rats in there? Or is there a lot of holders that don't have any logos next to it? Because that means that it was likely sniped. So yeah, those are pretty much, I know it's a lot of information, but those are kind of things I look for. And then depending on whether it's like a meme coin mascot, like an organic one, or news based, you kind of play it accordingly.
Gotcha. And you set up and like every 5 to 10 minutes is potentially an opportunity. Like to avoid over trading, do you give yourself like a time limit? Are you like, okay, I'm going to do this for an hour, 2 hours, like however long, and then I'm out? Or is it just like I'm rolling profit, we carry on, or I'm losing money, I'm feeling bad, I'm going to close the computer?
I kind of just go off of the vibes a little bit, to be honest. Like,
So we actually got a good quote when we interviewed OSF. It's the ball tingling.
yeah.
The
So
what?
OSF was like,
What?
we were talking about like finding tickers or knowing when to, like, basically what he uses for trading, and he literally described it as my balls tingling. He's like, how much does a meme coin make my balls tingle? And like when he finds good tickers or not, that's kind of what he goes for. Last night, Easy and I were like, that's a hard thing, and I'm not an expert by any means, but like knowing when to start versus stop on your meme coin trading is kind of dependent. Like, a lot of the times when I find myself over trading or losing like 2, 3, 4, 5 times because of bad decisions, I find like it is a fatigue game. Like, buying random shit just because you want to press the button is a mistake you make. I don't mind losing money on things that fit my like kind of mental model of what I think is good. Like if I lose money on something where I'm like, oh, the thesis was there, I don't mind that. When I get mad is like when I buy something, I FOMO in and I buy it just because it's there. That's an indication to me that like, okay, I need to stop. I go kind of off that. But Easy, I don't know how you determine kind of when you're
If I hit a certain limit on a day, I'm like, okay, I feel good about this. I'm done, because you will always chase. Like at the end of the day, you're like, especially when you hit big, the big thing is like still focusing on risk management. Like once you have a big win, don't then immediately, like if you make 50 SOL, don't up your unit size all of a sudden to 2 SOL, 3 SOL. Like don't continue to just crank upping the unit size. That's like the thing I look at is like that. It gets me in some hot water. Like recently I've been sizing in a little bit more aggressively, which is like not always the best move. But it's been panning out just because the trenches are hot and I can lose it. Like I'm comfortable losing it. But like when I'm on a cold streak, like a very cold streak and like just losing money, I'll take out 90% of the SOL in a trading wallet and leave like 1 to 5 SOL and trade with that just for a day. If I lose it all, I'm done with the trenches for the day. I don't care if I miss a runner. There's runners literally every day at this point. So like missing a big winner, you can't get in your own head about it and be like, oh, I'm going to make it all back and just hit this winner. You're probably going to miss the winner. That's the thing. So it's like sit back, step away. Emotional trading is the worst possible thing you can do. So it's like my main thing I look for is like, all right, let's set a budget. If I lose X amount, I'm out. That's it. If I run it down to 1 SOL, I'm not putting more in until the next day. Or if I run under 1 SOL, if I pump it to 50 SOL, then the next day I'll take out 30, 40 SOL and leave 10. Like I really try to recognize as much as I can. And I've been doing it a lot recently too. I was talking about it yesterday with just Pio, Nick, and Clemente. And I was like, I've taken a lot off the table already. Like I've taken a lot to my bank account from meme coins because I have my long-term conviction stacks. I have the trades I'm happy with. I still allocate a small portion of it to things like I'm buying Radium and some of these other like more conviction swing trades. But I'm moving a lot of these meme coin profits into my bank account. So I'm not giving it back to the casino. And like, that's it. It's like, I don't want to give money back this cycle. And I've done very well. So like, I'd rather put it in my bank account and spend it on stuff. Like, dude, I bought a car. Like, that's fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do that last cycle. So like stuff like that is like, you can't spend the money on the computer screen. Put it into your bank account, recognize it, take 35% of it for taxes, and enjoy the rest of it. Like the market cycle is going to continue to run. You're going to make money. You're going to hit winners. But if you hit a huge winner, if you put in 1 SOL and you leave with 500 SOL, the one thing I can't recommend enough, stop trading for the day. Leave. Step out of the casino. It's like hitting a jackpot on slots. Like walk away. There will be more trades tomorrow. And I can promise you, if you hit a big winner like that and you sit there and keep clicking, you're going to start to give back that profit. Like that is the cleanest thing. And it doesn't matter how good of a trader you are, you'll give back some of that profit because you're euphoric. Just as difficult as it is revenge and emotional trading on the lows, it's just as bad as a high because you're up so much. You're like, oh, this is profit anyway. Like, get out. That's the thing. Like, leave. That's it.
Easy. So
yeah, see, Mickey's commenting 500 SOL on 1 SOL happens every day. Yeah, I promise you're not hitting that trade every single day. And if you are, I promise you've also lost 200 SOL chasing that 500 SOL.
The other thing I'll say is Easy and I went through and we were tracking wallets yesterday, and we were tracking some people that have like posted P&Ls of like hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. And we were looking at their wallet activity, and they were in the last 24 hours or in the last 48 hours, they were down $70,000, down $150,000. So with a lot of these people, when you see them posting like, holy shit, look how much money I made, you don't see the other 500 trades that they've made where they've lost money and probably have lost like half, if not more, of that profit that they made.
We went through a wallet of someone who was doing interviews about how they made $2 million on meme coins. They were that $2 million of unrealized profits that they were talking about at that moment when we looked was worth 460K. They were down 75%. Like that's the blockchain is transparent on that. And it's like you get to a certain part where you can risk those swings, but it's all about bankroll management. It's like anything, everything you're doing in this space, it is a casino. There is an edge where you theoretically have a better chance. Like I was looking at a few of the telegrams I'm in, and it's like the contracts I've shared, the things I've done, I'm at like a 65% hit rate of at least a 2x, which is great. Like that's really good. But at the same time, those 45% of losers still wipe out balances. That's the thing is like when to cut a position, when to hold a position, when to let dust sit. All of these things are like it comes with repetition and reps and trades. Like last night we were hitting and we reached a point and Clemente's like, let's keep riding the meta. And I was like, I'm just going to go to bed. Like I'm up a bunch. And sure enough, the next coin he bought literally rugged. So it was like, yeah, we should stop. You know, like we're doing good. We've rode this like we were trading like triple derivatives that were hitting for us for like 3 or 4x. And at that point, it was like, okay, we're getting frothy. Let's slow down, stop buying these and wait to hit a couple. And we hit one huge one shortly after that. And with like pump plays. And then there was another one. What was the other one I hit?
Irwin.
I hit Irwin. So this one was a pretty wild trade. It was like the counter thesis of these animals dying. Instead, it was called Irwin, killed by animal. So it was the inverse of like people like animals killing people. It's Steve Irwin. And Steve Irwin Day is the 15th. So it's tomorrow. So you can see on the hourly chart, I got in and out of this extremely quickly. I put 5.5 SOL in and made 20. So like that's a great trade. I made $5,000. And if we even like zoom in on the minute chart, I think if we go back, you're going to be like, holy shit. Yeah, $5,000. You can see I bought it pre-migration and barely got in at 60K and started scaling out. My last sell was in the millions. So like first sell initials, I'm always taking initials, like almost immediately. If it's 2, 3x, I'm taking 50% off the board and recognizing some profit. And I have no emotional attachment to the bag, which is why selling on the downtrend didn't even hurt. And that was my biggest last sell because I was like, okay, it's not making higher highs. It's making lower lows. Let's just cut it. And inevitably went to zero. So like these trades, you can, and this is a minute chart, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. I made a 2x. 5, 6, 7 minutes. I was up 1,000. 8, 9, 10 minutes. $5,000. There's no space in the world that you can hit these. There's nowhere in the world that you can make these. And it's all about narratives. It's all about just like finding decent people to trade with, finding stuff that you can focus on, and really honing in on a strategy. Like I keep my strategy extremely tight where I take the 2 to 3x and then slowly scale out after because it's already profit. So let's just slowly recognize the profit. And I don't care if I don't sell the top. There's a lot of charts I look at where I'm like selling early or selling late, but it's still profit. Like the smallest green trade is astronomically better than even losing $1. Because now that you've lost that dollar, if your bankroll is $5, right, and you lose $1, your bankroll is now down 20%. To get to $6, you have to have a 40% win just to get $1 in the profit, which is like people like taking a loss and letting losers continue to lose you more money and not cutting it is terrible for bankroll management. It's significantly worse than taking a stop loss aggressively and on ways up, scaling out. Like that's the thing I look at is like so many people look at it like, oh, I only lost 1 SOL. Now to be in profit 1 SOL, you have to make 2 SOL. Like the growth trajectory completely flips. And that's so many people don't think about it like that at all. And it's like, awesome, you made 20 SOL. How much did you lose to make that 20 SOL? It's so many people are like, I don't know. Might have lost 40. It's like, great. So now you have a dopamine hit and you're still down 20 SOL.
Yeah, the biggest lesson I've learned from trading with Easy is it's actually not about your big wins, because I've actually had really big wins the last 4 or 5 days, but I'm barely up any money in the last 5 days because what I'm not good at now and what I need to get better at is preserving capital. And that's what Easy was just talking about is like, it's not about the big wins. The big wins are just as like preserving your capital and minimizing your losses through the bad wins and not chasing bad plays is just as important, if not more important, than getting these like 5-10x plays.
Oh man, you spat some bars there, Easy. And it's actually really great that Clemente's there, because we're getting like a look of trading from Clemente's perspective. And I'm going to say, Clemente has less experience. So we're seeing like what the real gold nuggets are from his perspective, which I really like. Easy. I wanted to ask as well, you said like you take those profits out to the bank. When you say the bank, as in, are you keeping that money? Like, I know you bought a car, but for the other stuff,
No.
are you taking that money and putting it into Solana so that money
No.
then rides Solana going up, or you're going to USDC? Like,
it is literally being converted to USDC, being sent to my centralized exchange, and then I'm withdrawing it to a bank account, like an actual legitimate can use my debit card or take out cash bank account. And this is, I did it slightly in 2021. From November to February, when the market was like cooling off and then inevitably dropped in March and May. And that's when I was like deploying again. Because I was like, okay, we're in a bear starting. Like, let's slowly start to buy. And then obviously FTX collapse happened and all that stuff. And I had a ton of dry powder. So I was like, oh, perfect. Like, the thesis is simple. I've lost it all when I was 24. I can lose it all again. And we can run this back a fifth time, where I was like, if Sol ends up winning, I'll be in a great place. And you asked, am I still allocating to Sol? No, at the moment I'm not, because we've broken so much higher. I said I would stop DCAing at 100. Truthfully, I stopped around like 140 and like was buying on those dips to 120 when I kept saying the bottom was in, because I was like, this feels too good of a risk return. And that ended up letting me get another $100 per Sol that I was buying there. And now I'm at a point where I look at my Solana bag and that stack, and I'm like, okay, if this reaches the price targets that I want it to, I'm way over my number for the cycle, like way over, because I've been able to already recognize so much profit from some of these meme winners. Like, I hit FWOG in some serious size. And that to me, and I sold it, by the way, I sold FWOG at 160 to 170 million. Last night it hit 800 million. FWOG would have hit my number easily by itself, but I stuck to the strategy and was in with serious size that I was comfortable taking it out and recognizing it. And I'm just happy the coin's still running for the other people who are still holding, that I was like, guys, I'm really bullish on this. Like, this is a conviction play for me. I'm adamant about it. Hit Earl at 5 mil. That's now at 40. Hit Petunia. That's now at 40. Like, there's certain trades like that where on the meme coin side, that money can literally be evaporated and I'll still hit my number because of the conviction bags that I've built and I'm not adding to, but just letting trade to a much longer term strategy. Whereas these meme coins, I'm looking at it as a strategic casino, a skill-based casino at this point, where when I win, I'm taking that money and putting it into the bank and already anticipating selling the majority of my bag next year of like actual spot. And I want to pay the taxes in advance. Like, truthfully, I want to be able to have enough capital to pay all of these taxes in advance and just not think about it. Be able to now withdraw that money. And when it hits the bank account, already be good, where I can just have that funds and not even think about it. So if I can use the meme coins to pay off the spot bag taxes, I'm content. And it's like, there's a bunch of other shit I can now do. And financially, it's like nice. That's the thing. Like, I can help family. I can help do stuff. I can enjoy stuff significantly more without really stressing. Like, truthfully, meme coins was like a big reason I was able to just afford traveling for like 4.5 months. It was like, oh, this is great. Like, I've recognized a ton of this money already. I don't need to buy Sol. I have so much already. My target, I have 1 Bitcoin. Realistically, I should start buying more Bitcoin. But do I want to at these prices? Probably not, because I do think in a bear market, we'll get similar, if not slightly lower prices than now. And so I'm like,
okay, so that's the only place that I disagree. Sorry, everything you said, like, I really hope people are listening to Easy here, because he's like a veteran. He's done the cycle. So like, my ears are up.
I've blown up 6-figure accounts.
Exactly.
I've lit stuff. I've literally had $20 to my name. We've ran it all back once. Chopped myself up in the bear, ran it all back again now. And it's like, yeah, I'm just going to be happy. And I don't give a shit how high it goes. I want everyone to eat, but we're trading a strict strategy and we're not doing moving goalposts. I don't give a shit. If Sol goes to 1,000, you'll hear me yelling from the mountaintops, but I'm already out. I sold 50% before that, and I'm completely okay with that. I'm still the biggest Solana bull, still the biggest fan of the coin in the ecosystem and the infrastructure, and I'm totally fine being out. That's the difference.
So Easy.
Totally fine.
right. So you're really lucky because you basically been not lucky. You kept your strategy and you DCA'd into Solana like at the lows when it was at $8, and now here we are at 217. For people coming into the market now who haven't been through that bear, what would you say is the strategy now for the phase that we're at when it comes to the majors and the meme coins?
Have set targets and take profit. You cannot spend the money on the browser. You can't. There's no way to take my Phantom wallet except for very select places and be able to use that money. That's the difference. None of this money is real until it hits that bank account. So make sure it hits that bank account. And if you're buying majors right now, yeah, there's still opportunity. Like if you don't have Solana exposure and size right now, it's not a bad idea, in my opinion, to get Solana exposure. Like if it goes to 480, that's a 2x from here. If it goes to 600, you're looking at a 3x. That's the difference. Same with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin goes to 150K. So we still have $60,000 of upside. I think ETH, realistically, if you want my honest take, is probably 7K. So a little more than a 2x. And you won't hear me say that often because I'm still calling for ETH 0. But I think 7K is realistic. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, these opportunities do make sense. And that's where I'm like, if you don't have some serious size allocated, go into those, find other things. Like I think Radium has a 4x in it. I think Radium goes to $20. So like those types of plays that are not meme coins that actually like, I always say it, Radium is you're selling shovels to the gold miners. Every coin on Pump Fund graduates to Radium. It is absolutely ludicrous if you log in every single day and click those buttons and you don't have Radium exposure and you're unknowingly using Radium every single day. That you are using Radium more than you're using Phantom by trading Pump Fund. And you do not have exposure to Radium, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. And there's plays like that I think you can allocate to. Like I want more Radium, plain and simple. And I've been buying since $1.60, and I want more because I think it has a 4x. So stuff like that is where if you're getting in now, look for those plays that you can convert winnings to. If you don't already have a substantial stack from the bear, and find the ones that should theoretically outpace. Simple. Like not simple, but it's easier to think about that and spend time when the trenches are quiet to find those plays. Because what holds up better on some of these things? If Sol's selling off and goes to 180, what tokens are only selling off 1 to 2% versus 30? Same with ETH, same with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dips to 80K, 75K, what coins in crypto are holding up better? Those are the ones that'll run much harder. Look at the charts when the market's selling and find things that you can allocate to for higher upside. And don't touch them until they get to your targets. Once they're in those coins, do not give it back to the casino. That's the one thing I have to say time and time again. If you blow a stack, step away from the computer. Set yourself limits every day. If you blow it up, walk away because you're going to continue to lose more and dig yourself into a hole that's just absolutely unfathomable to get out of. And you need to just take a second, walk away, find the strategy, and keep cooking on it.
Speaking of walking away, I'm getting a little bit nervous with Solana price action right now and majors in general. Just breaking over the Bollinger Band. Outside of it, it's like historically, every time we've done that, we've seen this like 20 to 40% pullback in the next coming weeks. I don't know if you could bring up a chart and like calm my nerves a little bit here, Easy. Looking at
no, we're way too frothy. Way too frothy. The whole market is like as fast as stuff goes up, it also comes down. Like that's the best way to look at stuff. When I look at the charts right now, if I'm trading leverage at all in this market, which I really don't want to be, and one sec, I just want to do one quick thing here and then I'll share my screen. Sorry. I want to make sure I take care of something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the main thing, oh, there we go. Sorry.
Loading.
Oops, should close inspect element. Loading. loading.
When you know exactly what Easy's doing.
Yeah, you know exactly what I was doing too. Had to take care of it. So you're actually spot on here. Look at this. This chart right now on the 5-minute chart looks like we're going to pull back. Plain and simple. Everything that goes up has to come down at some point. We're now making lower lows and lower highs. So if you're leverage trading here, I said I would never short again, so I'm not opening the short. We're making lower highs and lower lows. So until we actually continue to run, which we will, we're going to stop out late longs. I'd be looking to not go long here. Like 30-40 is probably where I'd go long again. Or even here. If we test 30-70, 3100 seems good. These areas are where I'd have some buys in if I'm leverage trading. Just purely because when I look at this in this market, We ran so hot so quickly. From the 9th to the 12th, literally off of 28.86 to $600 move on ETH is crazy. After being stagnant for so long, the same can be said for Bitcoin. Bitcoin broke 90K. So like I look at something like this where we're trading way above fib lines, which to me, unless we just continue to grind higher, which we could because we're still in an uptrend here. So you don't fight the trend ever, but we're now testing underneath this trend line. And shout out DYDX. The full order book makes it so nice. You can see how heavy this sell side is. Look how thick the red bars are compared to the green here. That shows there's an indication of sell pressure that's going to continue to trend here. So like order books are great if you're leverage trading. Looking at charts is good if you're leverage trading. DYDX gives all of it to you. I'm excited for the new product they're launching here that we're going to be talking about too, especially for leveraging meme coins. I like to short them, but we're not shorting ever again. It's illegal in my bloodline. But that's the thing is like, I look at this, I expect, so now we just broke under this fib line that we've had at 9,300. A retest of 85 is not out of the question. It would not shock me at all. Like at all. That's not a terrible sell-off. Like we were trading at 8,600 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 and 3 days ago. We were at that number before breakouts and retests. Now we're getting the retest of 90K, not unheard of. Give me 85K and back up. And we're in a beautiful area of continued upward pressure that's going to trap late longs and get people to enter late shorts. So that's kind of where my head's at is like, as anything only goes up, we've been only up for the last 4 days. When's the last time Bitcoin literally ran 76K? This thing's up 16 grand in 4 days. You're making $4,000 a day on Bitcoin. That's the hottest I think Bitcoin's ever ran, ever.
But and like, also as well, sorry, it's just to calm Ray's nerves. Okay, so that's like the technical stuff, and I agree with everything Easy's saying. Like I think Easy, like you're kind of speaking in this kind of short term window. I think your analysis is referring to.
Yeah.
But like Ray, like I think sometimes when I look at the timeline, everyone's like, oh, it's frothy, it's getting hot. But I'm like, first of all, guys, we've literally gone through like what is 3 years of up down consolidation, just hanging around in this like 50K, 60K range, and that's been going on for so long. Secondly, we've come to this point where it's like you have to look at the macro and a reason why we're moving up. If we look at, say, for example, ETFs. To date, ETFs have done more volume than all of last year. And that is just simply because of the fact that Trump is going to be in power and like the market is speculating that it's basically going to be up only for the next 4 years. So for me, when I look at this shift that Bitcoin has done in the last few days, which has been absolutely parabolic, it's because it's almost like a paradigm shift as to why the asset class should move up so hard. This is TradFi money that's coming in, and this is going to give us moves which no one has ever seen before. And it'll also give us probably down moves that we've never seen before. But I think the overall direction is that as an asset class, Bitcoin is moving up. And I just think people at the moment right now, at least on Twitter, maybe getting a little bit shaky because we're just not used to these kind of moves up. We're all used to Bitcoin just kind of doing the same song and dance for the last 3 years. Personally, I'm not nervous. I think we continue in this direction. Trump hasn't even come into he hasn't even been inaugurated yet. So I think we see even more moves next year. But what Easy is saying, I wouldn't ignore that there could be a pullback here trying to break over 100K. I think that's still going to be a bit tricky. But I think the general direction is the market keeps moving up until Trump is has been called in as president. And then we see what his policies are. But this is why Bitcoin is moving up. And it's risk on everywhere, by the way. Just like look at equities as well. When I talk about ETFs, I'm obviously talking about the equity, like the US equity markets as well. Everything is seeing a move up. It's a risk on environment.
Yeah, and you spoke about Trump being inaugurated. I listened to a good segment yesterday. I watched Thread Guy's stream for the first time. I went back and watched a bit of that last night from the stream he had yesterday, and he had TraderMain on. And the one thing TraderMain said, and I highly recommend you watch that segment. I think Thread Guy has the actual just the TraderMain segment on his X account. It's so informative and such a good segment if you're trading in this market, especially if it's like one of your first cycles or even your second cycle. Just like the knowledge he's had from being around is like excellent. But he said like he's expecting a pullback at inauguration or around inauguration. So that's like less than 2 months away at this point. So it might not be the worst idea to like have some dry powder ready for a pullback for situations like this. I know like everyone is saying up only. I'm just a little bit nervous that that we could see like a kind of a decent pullback and people panic when they are down and then don't have anything else to deploy. So I don't think it's a bad idea just to have some like USDC cash in case of a pullback to kind of capitalize on that and not sit in a position where you might be feeling like forced to sell for losses. Just interesting mindset, like kind of shift I had last night watching that segment.
It was one of the best segments I've seen on crypto Twitter ever.
Yeah, really good. Highly suggest you watch it. It's on Thread Guys X feed, so you can check it out there. Pretty cool
what
stuff.
is leading to this sell though? Have we got any macro news that's causing this, you think?
I don't think we had any macro announcements today. I think it's mainly just me doing the work in the TA and just seeing it break above the Bollinger Band and just predicting the downtrend. I think
that
that's
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. As our resident quant, sharing Bollinger Bands absolutely makes sense.
I can't imagine it would be anything else. Let me see if there's any data here. No,
did we get CPI yesterday?
We got CPI yesterday. It came in at estimates. Everything came across the board at estimates.
PPI came in today. PPI and jobs.
Jobless claims, yeah.
PPI is actual 2.02. PPI US is 2.4 versus 1.8. Slightly overestimates. Core PPI. Interesting.
Jobs came in basically at estimates or jobless.
Yeah, but no one believes the jobs reports anymore because of all the changes in it. So, I mean, the concern is that we still have inflation. That's kind of the main thing, is inflation is not stopping or slowing despite the cuts. Like when you look at this, numbers coming in higher, US PPI year over year, still higher. Core PPI month, slightly higher. Year over year, slightly higher. So it seems like we may not be getting as slow of an inflationary rate at the moment, but that would usually mean crypto pumps. Interesting. We'll have to see. Maybe they're just priced in rate cuts a little too aggressively.
Yeah, so we were looking at like 70% after CPI. I'm pulling up the prediction market on December rate cuts now. Looking at December, we're seeing 77% chance of a 25 bips cut, 19% for no change. That ran as high as 83% yesterday. So it looks like we're pretty much going to get a rate cut in December.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens next year. I think everyone was it seems like everyone was pricing in these rate cuts, like the 4 rate cuts in 2024.
Yep.
Like we saw it in mortgage rates, just holding steady. I think it's really like January is going to be our next big like indicator of where things go. And I'm interested to see what the prediction markets think there. Would you take any early trades on a January rate cut?
Probably not. My big thing is like I really don't want to like dive in and over trade, like especially on majors. Like truthfully, majors are the one area where like when I leverage trade and try to like predict the market move, I just get cooked. Like that ETH trade absolutely destroyed the entire position. Like I just got cooked on that thinking to go short ETH. So at that point, I'm just like, yeah, I'm probably just going to stay away from leverage trading and just spot trade that stuff. But all of my spot bags aren't for like, I'd rather trade memes. Way more volatile, way quicker. None of it makes any sense. That's kind of where my head's at. Like I'd rather trade that stuff than anything else.
Yeah, I agree. I am dabbling a little bit in the prediction markets, but yes, I would rather spend more time.
Also, Ray, I got a question for you. A question for you. Do you think the OpenSea token trades over $1 billion?
No.
You don't. So we've gotten all but
FDV?
Yeah.
I think it does.
You do.
Yeah, I think it does.
So I mean, to be honest, that's more bullish for the Magic Eden token.
Yeah.
If you think OpenSea token trades over $1 billion, then Magic Eden token probably trades 2-3.
I was gonna post about this. It basically showing the Tensor market cap, the Tensor FDV, Blur FDV. What's the third? Tensor, Blur. Oh, and then I was gonna. I think that
Y2.
Maybe. What about Jupe? Like I feel like Jupe is kind of an interesting comp for the Magic Eden token because of the wallet stuff and like possible hints at like this DEX style approach that they've been taking. I think Jupe is also a comp relevant for the Magic Eden token.
Is this right?
What are you showing?
X2Y2 token.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think that's comparing apples to apples though. Exactly.
I just didn't realize it was at a $4 million market cap.
I mean, nobody talks about it anymore. But like the OpenSea token, if it does go over $1 billion, it's just simply because of the environment that we're in. Because if you'd asked that question not even 3 weeks ago, I think all of us unanimously would have said no. So it's kind of like, it depends when they drop it. So if they drop it in January, I would say yes. If they drop it, if they drop it when things cool off, no.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're gonna have to wrap today's show at 10. Is there anything we want to get in before we start wrapping? I know one thing that was interesting is we saw the FBI rating Poly market. We saw over 40 CryptoPunks selling a day. Floor ran 10%, crossed $100,000. Azuki's Memecoin tweeted for the first time in months. They teased a Discord launch coming for that. And then Bubble Maps announced their V2. They opened up a wait list for Bubble
V2
Maps.
slaps. The V2 absolutely slaps, dude.
Are you in?
Token, the history trend is so nice on Bubble Maps. You can literally go through it and just analyze a bunch of stuff over trends, which is so nice.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I need to figure out how to get that access. So I'm going to be hitting them up for that. Love to look at they had history on the first one, but it sounds like it's going to be like much more in depth now.
Yep.
Ray, did you see McDonald's shared the Doodles partnership details?
No, outside of yesterday's announcement,
they announced it. Basically, it's a Doodles drink. But what's really interesting is that they're like shilling the Doodles app. They're showing like the Doodles digital, like Dolesville and Doodles. So let me just read it out. For a limited time, unlock a present from Doodles with any cafe hot drink purchase in the McDonald's app. You get a ticket to stream the Doodles pilot for Dolesville and Doodlesverse. Limited edition McDonald's digital apparel for your Doodles avatar, which is wild. And then to claim it, you purchase it in the McDonald's app. You check your email for the conversation. Yeah, you sign up for the Doodles Studio. So they're shilling the Doodles Studio, which is insane.
That's awesome.
Is this a global partnership or just a US partnership?
I have no idea.
Let me take a look at the fine print here and see.
No,
US only.
US only. Oh, damn. That would be the only reason for me to go into McDonald's is just to check this out. It actually looks pretty cool.
No, McDonald's slaps.
No, man. I mean,
I got McDonald's this morning because I was in a bit of a rush after daycare. I got a nice steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
Sheesh.
It was delicious. November 18th through the 31st is the promotion. The coffee cups look sweet. Like I'm sure we're gonna see a ton of these on the timeline.
They do look very cool.
Yeah, it's cool seeing the Doodles artwork going mainstream. We also had CryptoPunks, Azuki, Memecoin, Polymarket. Any thoughts on any of these before we wrap up? Or are you guys pretty much ready to wrap?
No, good show. Sorry for the yaponomics today, but when the market's frothy, sometimes you need a reality check.
All righty. Well, we're gonna wrap up today's show. We want to thank the partner for today's show.
All righty, thanks.
We're gonna thank Tensor and Vector. Tensor, the leading NFT marketplace for pro crypto traders on Solana. They're releasing a new product. They're putting all of their engineering backbone into this. Super excited for this. We've been testing this out. You can go to Vector.fun. Follow them on Twitter. Set notifications on. You're going to want to do that. There's going to be opportunities to join early. We're going to have some opportunities for you as well. So you're going to make sure you're following Vector.fun on X, and you're going to be putting those notifications on. If you're a Tensorian holder, make sure you tune into their Discord alpha announcement tomorrow. Town hall with the founders tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you're holding a Tensorian, head over there, pick up a Tensorian. Always great to be part of that ecosystem. If you're looking for a team that's building quality products year after year, month after month, day after day in the Web3 space, it's Tensor. So make sure you check that out if you're holding them. If not, why don't you just pick up a little Tensorian? Pick one up. Hang out over there. They have a very, very awesome community. We had their community lead, Tim, on our streams many times. He's an excellent trader. He has all the alpha for Memecoins. So they have that going on as well over there. Thank you, everybody, for listening. That's going to do it for today's show. We had a wonderful time. You can catch us on all major podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify. You can catch us on YouTube. Check out our pretty faces. Check out our graphics. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thursday.